Alright folks, welcome back. Let's talk about big number. You've probably seen this run before, and even if you're not familiar with this particular run, you probably know the recipe. Use Perkeo to copy cryptid, cryptid to copy kings. More kings allows you to score more points with the Baron and the Mime. When we did this run, we said more powerful scoring technology is possible, but requires a much more convoluted setup. One time we made a bunch of stencils. We made over 100 stencils using Perkeo to copy the Ankh. Important thing to point out about the Ankh normally copies editions like foil, holographic, polychrome, but it does not copy the negative edition. In order to get the negatives, in order to get more Joker slots, you also need Perkeo to copy ectoplasm, copy Ankh and ectoplasm. And Ankh is supposed to destroy your Jokers, so you need to play on black stake or higher, so you have access to those eternal Jokers. But once you have this setup, you could apply this to any Joker. It doesn't have to be stencil. One time we made a bunch of ancient Jokers, for example. Which brings us to this run. This is not me, by the way, but this person is claiming unseeded vanilla world record. Luckily, they have a pinned comment explaining how they set this up. For example, they don't have all the Jokers unlocked. If you only unlock half the Jokers, you get twice as many copies of whatever important Jokers that you're looking for. Obviously, there's some cleverness and careful planning that goes into this, but they're intentionally creating this inequity. If you want to try to play the same run on the same seed, you will get completely different shops, completely different Jokers. Also, they're using the Brainstorm mod. This run depends on your ability to find Perkeo so you can copy those spectral cards. So they use the Brainstorm mod to find a random seed that has Perkeo on it. If you've never seen the Brainstorm mod, this is what it looks like. You push a button to restart the game, but instead of putting you on any random seed, it'll put you on a random seed fitting very narrow search criteria. For example, you can guarantee a charm tag in Ante 1. That's the skip tag that gives you the Mega Arcana pack. We want the Mega Arcana pack to give us a soul, to give us Perkeo. Every time we push the button, it restarts the game, but it's Perkeo every time. That's what this person is trying to say. It's a random seed in the sense that you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You get your Perkeo, but you don't know what else is going to happen. Every time you push the button, it's Perkeo again, but everything else is new and different. I think it's more accurate, or at least more descriptive, to call it a filtered seed. If this is something that you want to do in the privacy of your own home for fun or for science or whatever, I think that's cool. I think that's great. Go for it. But the real power of the Brainstorm mod is how fast it is. It can find you a new different Perkeo seed in less than a second. And if you can find a Perkeo seed in less than a second, you can find a Perkeo seed every second. And you can do that. You can go through hundreds of Perkeo seeds in maybe 1 or 2 hours. And that's what this person did. Instead of just playing on any Perkeo seed, they went through hundreds of these and they picked the best one. They found one where you have a negative Perkeo to start. This run that they did, I'm sure it's full of cleverness and I'm sure it's very impressive and they should be proud of this, but I think it's disingenuous to say that this is just a random Perkeo seed as opposed to this cherry-picked, perfect negative Perkeo seed. Also, I think it's unnecessarily boastful to say unseeded vanilla world record. When we did this run, I said we weren't going to do the Ankh and ectoplasm technology. I said it would be more powerful in theory, but the reason why we didn't want to go for it at the time, I wanted to be able to do this without the Brainstorm mod. For this more complicated build, even when you start with Perkeo, it is difficult to get all of the different spectral cards that you need and sort of balance the different amounts of the different spectral cards. It's difficult to get the correct Jokers, the correct eternal Jokers on the black stake, but if you want to see me do it, I'll do it. We'll load up the Brainstorm mod and I'll show you what's possible. A common comment I see about the Brainstorm mod, if you're using the Brainstorm mod to find Perkeo and even go in this extra step of cherry picking this negative Perkeo, why not just play on a set seed at that point? The difference is when you're playing on a set seed, you have perfect information about the future. Even just knowing what the bosses are going to be in the future, that's going to influence your build, that's going to influence your deck building decisions. If you know there's a negative skip tag in the future, you can actually control what Joker becomes negative in the shop by re-rolling the correct number of times at the correct moment. I want to give a shout out to Rhyme Reason. At the time of recording this, they only have 2 videos on their channel, but they're both bangers. They were able to score E2000 in non-endless mode. So that means E2000 in only 8 antes. I think that's absurd. I think that's incredible. You should check it out. Also, they were able to do a speed run, Ante 39 speed run, full skip in less than 39 minutes. Also, equally incredible. Check it out. Or don't. Take care, everyone.